Hi, I'm Rehan. I'm a 25-year-old lawyer and I want to reverse engineer my vision of a fulfilling life. And so I thought I would have conversations with people having different experiences than mine and hopefully learn a thing or two. Let's get into it.
Hey guys, welcome to Reverse Engineer. Today we have on my man Zal, who's a DJ and he was a former lawyer turned DJ. And we're going to be speaking about why he left the law, what does it feel like DJing in Bombay at events and at weddings and at various things that he does, and his whole thought process of leaving the law and his opinions on the profession in general and what caused him to switch and to follow his passion, which is DJing. So let's get into it. There's a lot we can speak about.
Yes,
let's
sir.
first start off with what you currently do and how you got into it.
So I am a DJ. I do a lot of clubs, weddings, corporate shows sometimes. I started in 2013 as a passion project. I was in HR. I studied HR, and I started DJing with my best friend at the time, who's still my best friend.
Nice.
And we started a duo called Z&M. And this was while I was doing, my BCom and my studies. But we basically started at a friend's birthday party, our school friend's birthday party.
Sick.
And at that time, it was all about like EDM and like electronic music. There's no like Bollywood, anything involved. So we, it was like Swedish House Mafia, Avicii, that kind of stuff. And people used to just like rage. We used to go for all these
Yeah,
concerts
yeah.
to like the race course. And
You
stuff
went to
like that.
Swedish House Mafia
Bro,
when you were here?
I was
I
here.
was there
So
as well,
The
yeah.
first one got cancelled.
Yeah.
And then the second one eventually happened, which was, I think, maybe my first or second concert experience.
Yeah, it was my first.
Really?
Yeah, Swedish House Mafia was my first.
Oh, crazy.
I was 13 at the time, I think, yeah.
Which year were you born in?
2000.
I'm 96 born.
Got it.
So, which school were you in?
I was Cathedral and then Aditya Birla, 11th.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. You were Scottish, you
I
said.
was Scottish, then HR, then law college at ABACL, and then,
Where was law school for you?
bro, it's this Mumbai University affiliated college called ABACL, Advocate Balasaheb Apte College of Law. It's very close to my house. So I went there for 3 years post
HR.
Post BCom.
So you did the 3-year law course.
I did the 3-year law course because I wasn't sure if I wanted to do law back when I was in junior college. So I didn't want to take that step of doing 5 years and then
Sensible.
having.
I actually regret not doing the 3-year course. I did the 5-year course. I was at Nalsa for a bit, and then from Nalsa,
you were at Nalsa.
I left Nalsa.
Why?
I had a very horrible experience at Nalsa.
What happened?
I think what happened was that coming from the background that we came from and moving to Nalsa, I reached Nalsa with a bit of an imposter syndrome, and I personally didn't. We were an hour and a half away from the city. I'm very, very close to my family.
Yeah.
I'm also an only child, so I'm like even more.
I'm also an only
You're
child.
also an only child, so you understand perfectly.
I do.
So being away from home for that prolonged period of time, over a 5-year horizon, I couldn't see myself being there for 5 years. I'd prefer being at home, and it made more sense because I come from a legal family,
Yeah.
and so I thought that
Oh.
it made more sense to come back home and see how that feels rather than be in a place I could be potentially miserable for 5 years.
Absolutely.
So I left that and I came to GLC. And I said,
Crazy. So you Nalsa's Hyderabad, right?
nice, was Hyderabad. Yeah, so I gave CLAT. I went over there.
So I gave CLAT. I didn't give it. I gave I was studying for it for the longest time.
You gave MHCET.
I gave MACET.
Yeah, I remember I gave that as well to be like the backup. And when you get GLC, like moment I knew I got into GLC, that was my way to exit now.
GLC is a good. I mean, bro, it's one of the best. Back in the day, everyone used to go to GLC. If you ask someone where they're from, like what they've done, GLC or KC Law mainly. Yeah. So you did. How long were you in Hyderabad for?
Give or take 3 months.
3
4
months.
months.
And then you realized that was it.
Yeah, I know. I think I realized enough that for me, by coming to Bombay, it allowed me to study for solicitors, which was my eventual goal because my mum, mamu, nana, all solicitors.
Okay.
So I wanted to have that pathway in and have that tagline, which they also have, which is a coveted tagline. What I realized was, though I was probably one of the first people to ever leave Nalsa, because it's unheard of when you get into a national law school of that stature to leave.
Yeah.
But I didn't ever want to chase the clout or stature that came from being a part of an org. Because I think that if you're good enough, that will come anyway. You don't need a Nalsa tagline to be respected. Your work will speak for itself because when you start working, no one cares where you're from.
No one cares.
No one
gives
cares. They just care whether you do good work.
Yeah.
And I think thankfully I came from a thinking which served me well is today everyone loves to say I came from X, Y or Z. But everyone uses that as a sugar coat to sort of enter the door, but it doesn't have to stay in the door. I realized that the work speaks for itself, so it didn't matter where I came from, rather than the experience I have.
Correct.
That's what caused me to like.
Your dad's
my
a
mom's
lawyer.
the lawyer.
Your dad.
Your dad's in investment banking on the real estate side.
Nice. But so I got a lot of questions from people saying, like, one of the main questions you get when you're like working at a law firm is, do you have a legal background? And I'm just like, no. Oh, so you're a first generation lawyer? I'm like, yeah. Oh, that's hard.
Yeah.
So, like, it is what it is. Like,
That's the original like thought process that goes in, and of course it's a lot harder for first gens than it is for people who have pedigree in the family.
Yeah.
But I think it has different pressures.
It has.
Yeah, because there's a pressure of living up to expectations, which sometimes can be really weighing you down if you have success seen in the family.
Correct.
Because your point of comparison is that in an industry which is the same. So if you don't live up to that, it can be quite daunting. And you're constantly chasing. Like, my mom is an uber successful lawyer in her own right. I am being compared to her level of success and proficiency at all points. Even if I'm doing something completely different in the field of law. She achieved X, the expectation is I should also achieve X. And if you don't achieve that, society doesn't validate you, which is dangerous. But as a first gen, you decided to get out of it.
Yeah.
How did that whole like process metamorphosize? Like, what was the thinking?
So, as I said, first it started off as just a passion sort of thing. And obviously I realized I was super good at it. I mean, I don't mean to brag, but like,
Yeah.
And I also, I loved it. I used to never, as I said, we used to play only like EDM and shit initially. So then Mohit, my best friend, he started doing law full time. He actually did the 5-year course. He went to NUJS at Kolkata. I was still doing my BCom at the time. So of course we were just trying to do it on the side. And then he eventually started working at a tier 1 law firm. So he gradually started like he stopped DJing because he didn't have the time and the bandwidth to do it. He obviously does it for fun still.
Yeah.
But I still tried as much as I could to like keep it going as a thing on the side, until the point where I had to like reach a stage in my life where my parents were like what do you want to do? And thankfully I feel like I was pretty fortunate for that my parents were like, you do what you want, but just make sure that what you do wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
So like you give it your all. So at that time I was really scared. I didn't know if I could pursue music as a proper career, because it's not something that's too conventional.
It's not also the thought process projecting is it's not secure.
Exactly. Like you don't know when your next paycheck is going to come.
Exactly. That's the biggest worry for people getting into it also, no?
Absolutely. With respect to anything, even as a filmmaker, as a producer,
Anyone in the arts.
anything in the arts, anything in the creative space. See, there's an upside and there's a downside. Like you could either make it and make 10 times the money you'd make as an investment banker, as a lawyer, or you could not and fail, which is the scary part.
Which is the scary part.
So then I started working after I graduated. I graduated in 2020 from ABACL. I was part of the COVID batch.
Damn.
Yeah. And then I started working as a paralegal at a tier 1 law firm from home. And obviously, you know how it is when you work in a Gen Corp sort of team. Even during COVID, the work hours were like absurd. They expect so much out of you. You're kind of doing the work of an A1 or A0 associate, but you're termed a paralegal, which is fair because you're starting off. But the workload isn't anything that's easier than an A1. So you're clocking in those hours, you're doing everything. You're trying to figure out what you like and who you want to be as a lawyer. Like I'm sure you also haven't figured that out completely. If you have, then you're lucky and you're super fortunate, because when I was working, I was like, I thought, I saw Suits and I was like, dude, this is damn cool. I want to do this. Not to mention, I interned a lot while I was studying in law college. Like I interned at tier 1, tier 2 firms. I interned at an IP firm, IPR firm. I interned at a...
So you tried everything?
I tried everything. Yeah. Then I said, like, I'm gonna try and give it a shot at this so-and-so tier 1 law firm. Then after 5 months or so, I realized that this is not something I can't do.
You can't do this.
So there was a point in my career where I was going for a wedding or some sort of private function to Karjat. I had to give in a due diligence report, like a certain section and a certain chapter, and I couldn't give it on time. So I called in sick, and I said I'm not well, and I had to go. And like you know how it is, bro. Even when you call in sick, they still tell you like you need to at least send this much, at least send this much. So that kind of got to me even when I
Not
got
having
the culture.
control of your own time.
Yeah, that was the main thing. Like
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, I get it. I mean, not everyone starts off like as a partner. You need to like
Build up.
you need to build up, and that's in every industry, I feel. So that one time really bugged me, and I was like, bro, like it's not how much I had to submit. It was just the fact that I
You
had to
couldn't
go
say,
between the, let's say, the dance performances and before another performance. I had to go and take a call saying, hi, I'm not well, but I'll give you the report tomorrow. I just questioned myself, like, what am I doing? And then I also had this thought process that if you can't give 100% to what you're doing, don't do it. Like,
Yeah.
in my mind, I want to be the best version of whatever I'm doing. Like, I have
100%.
to.
And for that, you need to be fully committed
You
to
need to be
it.
fully committed. And I was seeing lawyers from this firm that were actually like waking up, working, eating while working, then and
Breathing it, basically.
breathing it, bro. And like that's not something I could do.
Yeah.
So but I still said, my dad. I think we spoke, and he was like, "Why don't you try another firm?" So then I worked with a senior counsel at Fort. Basically, his son, the senior counsel's son, is a good friend of mine from college, from law college. I asked him if I can like work with him for a while, and I was working there. We used to practice at the High Court, and I mean mainly High Court, also City Civil and a bunch of other. But that also didn't interest me that much. I was also doing gigs on the side there as well, and weddings and stuff. And I started getting to weddings there. I'd done a couple before, but I started like properly doing it from there on. And then one day, like something just clicked in me, and I was like, I can't give it my 100%. I'm not doing this.
Moment you realize you're not fully committed
Yeah.
and enjoying yourself, and you're just doing it for the
Yeah.
sake of doing it because it's conventional.
Yeah.
You were like, you've had enough.
Then something just clicked in my brain, and I was like, bus, I'm done.
Yeah.
So then my dad was like, okay, you want to do this, but take it like a step higher and figure out what more you can do. Like, don't just be a DJ. So I said, cool. I looked up a bunch of colleges for like, music production courses. And there's this one school in London called Point Blank. And it's like the best. It has different branches in.
So you went there?
I went there. So I was considering, I think LA, they had a branch. They had one affiliated with the True School of Music in Bombay.
TSM. Yeah.
It was. London is the flagship one.
Completely,
So I was like,
I did some guitar courses from TSM online
Really?
when I was, because I learned the guitar by myself.
Oh,
so
nice.
I did some, like
How
the
was
online
it?
stuff from TSM. It was okay. Like it was something that was good, but I felt YouTube was the best teacher.
I also wanted the experience of studying abroad.
Completely. Which,
So
yeah,
I feel like
understand that.
like everyone should have that if you can, of course.
Yeah.
And like, if you can make it work, then you should do it. April of 2023 is when I shifted to London. I packed my bags. I went for a 6-month course. It was a certificate course, a diploma course.
Yeah.
And it was a diploma course. Of course, I did a whole lot of research on if it's worth it, this, that. And eventually, I decided on this. I said, there's this course in sound engineering and music production. I think it'll be useful for me. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So I went April to September. I was there. Like that was the whole course period. And then I came back in September-ish. Thankfully, I've never had to practice since then.
Good, man.
Yeah,
That's good that you found what you're looking for. I understand like the biggest, I guess, the annoyance that people within the profession also have, especially in the corporate T1 side, is the lack of agency of your own time. Some people hate it, some people accept it and understand that it's a pathway to having the agency of your own time because the profession pays you very well the higher you go up. And I guess that's why the people stay in for as long as they do. But it's also a profession with a very high attrition rate. A lot of people are leaving because they are unhappy because they can't, maybe because they find that it's not your calling. Two is, it involves a very form of meticulous thinking and approach. Like I'm someone who left counsel practice to get into the M&A corporate side, right? In counsel practices, you've seen it's more substance over form. But on the M&A side, the form matters almost as much as the substance as well.
Absolutely.
So missing commas, missing hyphens, all of those things can be but it teaches you precision. Because it teaches you how to think, it teaches you how to be precise in what you say. In the counsel life, you are given credence for speaking very well. You're given credence for having a elaborate vocabulary and sounding very convincing. On the M&A side, you're given credence for simplifying concepts and like leading a room per se, right?
Yeah.
So, but there's obviously those fun aspects of it which come up the higher you go up. A lot of the lower rung is documentation, as you well know, which can be quite laborious at times. But I guess my perspective of it is, and something I've seen is, a lot of the people, I am cognizant of the fact that the financial security that they have is lesser so than us, so they can't take the risks that we have. But a lot of people in the law can also be very miserable. So I understand where you're coming from, man.
Dude, one thing that really bugged me when I was working at that firm was that, the senior associates and people who aren't maybe at a partner level act like they are of that level, and they tell you to do X, Y, Z, and they use very flowery language, like, oh, could you please, typical corporate language, and then the minute you say it, I'm sorry, I have a family outing. Someone actually told me that. I said, I'm going for my dad or my mom's birthday or someone's birthday, and then that guy's like, dude, even I skipped my mom's birthday. So they expect you, because they've been through that previously from their higher ups, and they think that because they've been through it, they can put you through it.
But I feel like and I think that's one of the reasons why I didn't have a good experience at Nalsa, is because that top-down approach happens at law school. It's a sense of entitlement. But I don't think I feel like that is a very poor leadership model. I'm a part of a team which is superb in the sense that they're very understanding of where you are, what you do, and they respect that time outside of work. And they give you that understanding of if it is an important occasion, that important occasion is sacrosanct. If it's your mom's birthday, you go for your mom's birthday. You can work before, you can work after, whatever said and done.
But you go for that dinner.
If I had a junior tomorrow and it's any important function, it could be his girlfriend's birthday, to mom's birthday or anything, he has to go for that. That's what's important. He has to invest in his relationships. Otherwise, it becomes very toxic.
Yeah, bro.
You don't mind working hard if you're also
getting
those occasions are respected. I feel.
Yeah.
But I understand I understand what your thought process is, because I've seen that play out as well. But I just feel like that is what creates a toxic culture, which can not be rewarding for the employee, which leads to the higher attrition rate. And if people are miserable themselves, then likelihood of them passing on their miserableness is also high.
That's what, bro. You're just spreading negativity. If you're not happy, of course, there are people who are happy and are doing really well. I mean, I'm not taking that away from them. If you think you're meant for it, and if you think you enjoy it, and this is your calling, and this is what you're meant for in life, please go ahead. We need good lawyers, dude. There's nothing.
And I'll give you an example of at the firm I work at. There was an occasion where there was a deal that was closing, but it was high pressure. But someone in my family felt really sick, and I wanted to go there. And I really appreciated the fact that they let me go there.
Yeah.
That was given priority. Something like that.
Okay.
But I wanted to go there immediately. And they were so respectful and understanding of that. And still to this day, when I would bring it up saying I would want to be there, immediately you're given the leeway to go, because that's where your priorities are. And then they give you the sort of bandwidth to catch up at work. And there's no pressure, which I think wants you to work harder and repay the faith.
You also need a good partner for that.
Yeah.
Right, from my experience. You need, if someone, the person who you're basically, who's leading you is nice, and who's aware of the fact that whatever you said is something that you need to invest your time into. Obviously in such a case, if you say no, and if you say no, please finish the work, then you're inhuman.
Yeah.
Straight up. There's no two ways about it. So
but let's get into DJing now.
Let's get into DJing.
Now, this was the law school life background. Then you said, you know what, you went to London, you came back, you did your DJ course.
Yeah.
How does one give a blueprint as to what works? You're one of the people who've broken through. There are a lot of people who attempt this. There are a lot of people who are aspiring entrepreneurs, are aspiring to get into the DJ side, into the music side, but have never tried.
Yeah.
What is the blueprint in your opinion that worked for you, if you had to look back?
Okay.
And how does one make it sustainable? Because that's the other thing as to how you get the security out of it, right? It's how do you make it sustainable?
Okay, so first you need to lay out a plan. I'll start by saying that you need to recognize by yourself if you're good enough to compete with the existing market. Okay, you need to know if you yourself have to be aware of the fact that you can do it, and then it all starts with yourself. You can't be doubting yourself. Once you're in it, you're like giving it 100, and you're like, let's do this. So I feel like this whole, I mean, I'm sure you've realized this whole talent versus hard work thing that's there in every sphere of life. So that matters a lot. I think you need to know that you're like inherently talented. See, hard work, of course, can take you places where like, you couldn't go before. But to actually, I feel like to actually stand out, you need to have that certain amount of talent.
Self-belief.
Yeah, self-belief and talent. Like,
But were you scared when you left the law?
I was scared. So, and then the third thing I believe that can really take you forward is having a good network. That's something that I think is a little underrated in today's day and age. Given the fact that you're going to be competing amongst, in my case, like a billion other DJs who are as talented as you, might not have the same background as you, but you'll just know certain people who can take you places where they unfortunately can't reach.
And then be good enough to stay in the places that you've been brought into,
Exactly.
which is the bigger pressure.
Exactly.
Because they refer you by putting their neck out, then you
Exactly.
better be good enough when you're fucking put to the spot and made to perform. No? Yeah.
Exactly. So I also had to think of alternative options other than just DJing. So I bought like a console and I started classes at home. So my dad was like, you should do this. Like he was giving me ideas.
Did your dad like supporting you, help you a lot?
Yeah, touch wood. I'm very grateful. Both my parents,
Yeah.
they were like, as long as you're doing this, we'll support you whatever way. Just make sure
You make
doing
it
well.
sustainable after a
make
point.
it sustainable.
Yeah.
So I think like to answer your question, to make it sustainable is a process. It just doesn't happen overnight. You need to make a plan. Like this is X amount that I want to make annually, and I'll reach it anyhow. So of course, then you reach out to a bunch of clubs, promoters, if you want to go down that road. If you want to do the wedding bit along with it, of course, you need to start off by playing at your friends' weddings or like acquaintances or like somehow just convincing someone that you're good enough. Because let's face it, no one's going to trust you initially. It's a wedding.
Yeah,
It's the biggest day of your life.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
you just don't want anyone coming in and just doing their thing.
100%. Yeah, you need pedigree to open the door anyway, however small the wedding is. Yeah.
Exactly. So initially, like I had to send footage into clients to prove that I'm worth this. This was like years ago.
Yeah.
And because
So you would just reach out to those guys, the wedding promoters, wedding like planners, planners.
That is one thing. But then when you get hired from the couple side, that's also another way, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the main way actually. Like couple, let's say they've heard you at another wedding, they'll be like,
Word of
yo,
mouth.
this guy is
Good.
word of mouth. Bro, till date, you can probably ask anyone, not only in the DJing industry, anyone who started something of their own will probably tell you that the power of word of mouth is 5x like any other form. Like
because someone is vouching for you.
exactly.
That's the thing.
Like tomorrow, if your best friend comes and tells you like, bro, like you're getting married. I heard Zal. He's amazing. Like you need to take him over one Instagram post of mine that went viral. I'm not saying Instagram has no weightage. It has a lot of weightage. Like
But it's not personal.
it's not
personal.
Yeah, like
Because Instagram, you always post your best bits, but that is not the vouching that one wants, right?
I do like touchwood again. I get a lot of gigs from Instagram as well because when it comes to content, I believe in putting out like natural content, like as much as natural as it can be. Like I want you to see the experience that you'll have if you book me for your wedding or your function.
Yeah.
Because like that's the whole point, right? Like what's the point if I'm just gonna like fake it or something? That's the way I look at it. Anyway, coming back to the whole blueprint thing. So I had to send in footage, as I was saying. Bro, I was struggling to like actually get footage because I didn't have that kind of footage. This is like years ago when I
just starting.
Yeah, I'm saying before I even quit law and I just thought I wanted to do weddings to see where it went. I was doing it side by side. I had to take all the private event footage that I had, including like engagements, rokas, sangeets, whatever it was, and I had to make like compilation edits, like videos, and send out as my
of
footage.
Course. Yeah.
So I was recycling footage, bro. Like I was really like taking one clip from here, adding a nice song in the background.
Yeah.
So I've done that chill stuff. Like I was like,
you were hustling basically.
I still am hustling.
Yeah.
I think. So I was so eager to prove myself because I'm like, bro, like I'm this good. I'm not letting my talent go to
And
waste.
it's also like the fear, right? You've left something which is
Yeah.
secure
Yeah,
to
now-
something which is insecure. So the fire's in the belly more
As
so
well,
to prove.
as people say, that's the best way to go about it. Until you're thrown in the
Deep
dark,
end,
in
you're
the
not
deep end,
fucking getting out.
You're not getting out.
That's true.
You're not
And then
getting
it's
out.
truly sink or swim. And because of you, for you, it mattered so much to you
Yeah.
to prove yourself.
Yeah.
You swam.
I
Which
swam.
is what I've realized that a lot of people, when they're in that situation, is just whether their purpose is strong enough. No. Because if their purpose is not strong enough, then they'll just go to something else, which is a fad, and then something else after that,
Correct,
right?
correct,
And they're not fully committed to something because it's a big jump and risk to getting out of the law, which for whatever said and done, for all of its like negative aspects of being in it,
They're also
high pressure
yeah.
T1 firm, it gives you security. It gives you financial security because in the long run, it does pay very well.
Yeah.
And because you're part of transactions, and obviously,
Yeah.
in any part of the law, if you are successful, you get paid handsomely. It's common.
100%.
But the security is what allows you to continue on it. But you're getting into something with no security, no back end. But now, if a young DJ wants to like step out and start, what is that advice you would give them? And how? And is the wedding? And what? Like now, we all go to weddings. We all see a DJ performing at the weddings. Give me the back end as to what is it like for a DJ performing at those weddings? How does that whole process work?
Especially during season time. See, season time is, let's say, from maybe September, October
To Feb, March?
to March. April, it slows down a little, but I mean, there's still like weddings happening here and there. So there's a lot of planning and organizing that goes into the whole thing. So of course, my team, my manager takes care of that whole aspect because I can't, like, you can't, you're going from city to city, like maybe country to country at times, every day, every second day. You need a smooth sort of process. You need to know that your cab ride is sorted or like your hotel is sorted. Yeah.
Because it's also close time frames. No, you can't be late.
Bro, you can't. There's very little sleep. I mean, you can probably see my dark circles.
Yeah.
I landed from Goa yesterday.
Okay.
I played at Soho House last night. Then I woke up today. Took some time off, ate a little, and I came here.
Yeah.
But so your time frames are very cut to cut. Especially again during this time. For weddings, I feel like if you're asking me how people can get into weddings, firstly, the skill set is very important. Like playing at clubs is a whole different ball game. Like you probably like stick to like one or two genres when you play at clubs. But when you do like private events or even birthday parties, any private event, especially a wedding, I feel like you need to be fluent with all genres. Like tomorrow, if you ask me to mix like a Peggy Goo track into Galla Gudia, I should be able to do it.
Yeah.
And I mean, at this point, it's obviously effortless, but I feel like a lot of DJs would struggle and be like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. So firstly, you need to do that. And secondly, I'd suggest like playing for your friends, like, reach out to a couple of friends and try and get the word spread. Like they need to know that this is what you do. Because even for me, for the longest time, people were like, oh, you do weddings? Like, I didn't know that. Yeah, I do weddings.
Did you have like a breakthrough which started that aspect of you performing at weddings? Because I would say would you say weddings are the most lucrative form of the DJing that one can do, but unless they're making their own music?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure, right? Because I read a statistic saying that luxury weddings today are at an all-time high, 5x than as they were 5 years ago. And that's probably going to keep increasing every 5 years.
Yeah.
Which means that it's very concentrated amongst the people, and then more people want to get into your spot.
Yeah.
And you're competing with other DJs, no, for face value there. So people don't realize that how competitive an industry can get because they're all vying for one spot, right? How many weddings there are? If one guy becomes super successful, everyone wants that one DJ everywhere because of the namesake.
Because of the namesake.
Say like, I got this guy here.
Yeah.
So you're competing for like attention real estate there,
Yes.
clout real estate
Yes.
in a sense, right?
Yes.
And not many people talk about that. So you're also like iterating as to like how to be there.
Yeah, it's constantly playing on your mind. Like even as a DJ, you're seeing all these XY DJs on Instagram blowing up, but the clients aren't really aware if that guy is actually good or if he's just like faking it for the gram.
Yeah.
Because many times like you'll just see like a cool moment.
That's what they
It
put
could
the
be
best parts up
pre-recorded.
there.
They
Yeah.
put the best part. I mean, we all put the best parts. I'm not gonna lie, but whether or not they're actually doing it or like it's just something created, you never know. So to actually be recommended to someone, I think you need to have that certain level of expertise, which you gain over time. There wasn't any breakthrough moment for me, dude. I used to get into the wedding space. Like I used to and still do edits for like Sangeet dances and everything, couple entries and stuff. Like I make customized edits for people. That's something I do as a side hustle till date. I did Sid and Kiara's wedding with a very good friend of mine.
Okay.
And I did Hardik Pandya's wedding, and like not DJing, but I did their wedding edits. So that was like a cool moment for me. Of course, like I think that all these small milestones eventually pile up and then
you get where you want to be because of those milestones, right? But you obviously charted out not expecting to get into it, right? And then automatically you find your way to it, is what you're saying. But you started off by just DJing for friends, and you got lucky with one, like not lucky, but you built up the social proof to get one club. Then from one club it became 5 clubs, from 5 clubs it became 20 clubs, from 20 clubs it became 50 clubs. But I guess what you're saying is people don't realize is the lack of sleep. People just think a DJ shows up, they have the life easy, everything is booked for them, they come here, they perform for 2 hours, 3 hours, they mix on a USB, they go on and they go somewhere else. What's the back end look like? Because as a person who's enjoying the music, that's all it seems as, because you all make it look so easy. What is the back end preparation that goes in for like this constant churn when wedding season is on, or club season is on? Tell me. Because what is the blueprint for a DJ, and what goes in the back end? Like what people don't see. Now, if I go to a wedding, I just see a DJ performing and I see him at another wedding. What is the process? How tedious does it get? Like people don't understand. So
I'll run you through from like right from booking to execution. So a couple or a planner will initially reach out. You ask them how many events they have. You send them a quotation. They sometimes ask.
You have a standard quotation always?
I have a standard quotation. Like
per hour, or is it
no,
just for the night?
This is my fee for my time. I cover X hours, after which my assistant will probably take over. These are the events that he will cover. These are the events that I will cover. This is my fee for my performance. This is his fee for his performance.
Assistant in the sense someone performs with you?
No, so I travel with an assistant, and he sort of takes care of mainly the mehndis and the haldis, and then I do the 2 night functions and the barat essentially. Sometimes he does the barat depending on the client's budget and who they want. But then there's also like the whole aspect of like you're not doing every event, because then it becomes like there's no novelty there. Why are you paying this guy X amount, right?
I'm with you, the main after parties is the one that you
the Sangeet, right after the dance performances end. If there's a band, then there can be a band and then I'll take over. Or if there's no band, then I directly, like I get the console shift to the stage. Like the team does it. And then I start. So I do those 2 night events, and I do the barat at times. But so then once the quotation is approved, everything, then the planners connect, and then they tell you that you need to be at so and so time. Then my manager gets looped in. She books the flights. She gets my flights booked from like whoever's taking charge of that, and then you just wait for the season to start. Like this whole booking thing, by and large, happens a couple months prior to the wedding. Sometimes they come last minute as well. And then once the season starts, it's just you're just going from place to place. So let's say you wake up one day in Bombay, you're taking a morning flight to Udaipur. There's a standard flight to Udaipur that I take. There's a standard flight to Jaipur that I take, by and large.
That's where have you seen like predominantly of the locations being in Rajasthan? Is that where you're performing?
Yes, but this season, in fact, I've seen a lot of weddings happening out of India. Like I've done a bunch in Bahrain. There's this beautiful property there called the Sofitel. It's really nice, and also, like I think a lot of people might be done with Rajasthan. Of course, the Udaipur and Jaipur weddings are amazing. I did one in Ranthambore. Not one, I did a couple in Ranthambore. Doing a bunch in Jaipur.
Is there specific, like, does it come with specifications? Like, you prefer this kind of music and you play that kind of music? Or is it just free reign, gives you creative free reign?
In a span of 2 days, when I'm doing 2 after parties, I like having 2 different vibes on 2 different nights. Bollywood is there every function, that you can't deny. You have to play Bollywood. So I feel like the Sangeet night is always predominantly more Bolly Punjabi. And then a lot of the couples that are getting married nowadays want like a very house Afro kind of vibe on the second night, which I also do enjoy playing. So I also like on the second night I try to do a lot more hip hop and R&B, which is I also do like playing that.
So if you didn't have the inhibitions of what you should be playing, like Bolly and Punjabi, is that the genre you would want to play? all the time, or do you have a specific genre more than the others that you enjoy?
I don't. I have moods. Like I love my Afro. I love my house, my tech house, my progressive EDM, everything. I also enjoy playing Bolly at some point because like at weddings,
That's what
it's
gets
not
the
a
energy
wedding.
going,
Yeah,
yeah.
like at 9
It's
out of 10.
traditional at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
9 out of 10 people will like. See, there's a certain type of Bolly I also do enjoy playing. Like a lot of the new stuff isn't like I don't.
I have
like
another
it,
interesting
bro.
question for you. I saw a scene in a movie. It could be I could be chatting complete shit right now. But is there a certain level of BPM that you think gets the heart rate going?
You saw that Zac Efron.
Yeah, I
movie,
see that little thing.
What's it called?
I don't remember it now, but I remember it just struck me right now when we were talking, and I thought that is there as a
We
DJ?
Are Your Friends.
I don't know.
We Are Your
I've only seen the
Friends.
reel.
We
of
Are Your
it.
Friends. Yeah.
Acha.
So he's playing and then he's doing.
Yeah. Do you find that that happened to you when you're mixing and you're like, is there a
Yeah,
certain?
but it's not restricted only to BPM. Like, of course, the 128 to 130, as he might have said in that video, is very sort of house kind of that kind of vibe. Of course, there's Bollywood and everything in that range, but it's more high tempo music. Like you're going into that territory. Like 100 may have like a lot of pumpy Bollywood numbers as well. Then 70, 80 you can have more of hip hop, like a lot of R&B hip hop.
Yeah.
I mean, in Bolly and Punjabi also some kind of like Karan Aujla, like the new kind of stuff. See, by and large, nowadays what's working and what people seem to enjoy more is this Indo house genre that's come up. It's like Afro house mixed with Bollywood, and like, people seem to like really like that.
I've heard that Anchor Point mix with that one.
There are so many anchor point mixes, bro.
Yeah.
So now the new thing is that everyone comes on the stage and like just vibes with the DJ and has that whole kind of thing going.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's a trend or if it'll stay, but that's fun. It's always a good
So how,
time.
as you as a DJ who's constantly performing, and I'm sure there'll be an overlap of guests at some of these weddings completely, right? How do you have to freaking, like, every person, like, a lot of people are going on average now, the older we get, and 10 weddings, 12 weddings, 15 weddings a season, which is hectic as hell to begin with. It's a pain in the ass.
That's for y'all to attend. Imagine like 5x for us.
Exactly,
Also,
completely. But for y'all you constantly have to reiterate the music that you somewhat play, because you also can't. If I see you at like 3 weddings of the 10, which is high possibility, and if you played the same kind of music at all 3, it's more me less looking forward to hearing you, because it's the same thing over and over, right?
I agree.
So how do you go about the process of like constantly like moving on and revolutionizing and playing something different, but also knowing something which works?
So first and foremost, sorry, finish.
No, so how do you find the blend?
Okay. So first and foremost, I feel like you need to be very heavily updated with all the music that's being released as we speak and over the last few days. Like if I have even one day off, I'm going to spend that time going on YouTube, going on SoundCloud, going on Spotify, looking up new things, looking up whatever I need to play. But I also do try and keep every single set of mine as distinctive as possible. Like I feel like the hits though you have to play, like there'll always be a Galla Gudiya, Tu Mera Hero, all those songs, you have to play them.
Yeah.
Until and unless a client strictly tells you that they don't want something or they particularly want something. So because when I'm having a brief with the client,
what goes on in that brief?
Yeah. So initially I'll ask them like, what kind of vibe do you want at this event, and also tell me if there are any particular songs that you don't want. So like sometimes they'll give me a like you have to play this. Sometimes they'll be like, bro, this is just a broad framework. Do your thing.
Within this.
It's like do your thing. This is the kind of basic stuff that we want. And sometimes they also send like a strong list of no-nos. Like this is the stuff that we absolutely, maybe because it has like, I don't know, bad memories associated with it or whatever, for whatever reason. But you need to make sure that you respect that. At the end of the day, a wedding is not your event. It's for them.
Wedding.
You're charging a decent amount of money. You need to make sure that you deliver. Like you need to, like, hopefully everyone only gets married like once. And like, you need to make sure that it's special.
I'm with you. I'm with you for sure.
So like you need to...
You're meeting their needs, which is any service industry guy does, right? You're meeting your client's needs. I understand that fully. So
you need to be super aware that what you're doing isn't just a random time pass set. Like you're charging X amount, you need to make sure that they're getting their money's worth.
Time,
and they should remember it in a nice way. So I try my level best to give every couple, like if they expect an 11 on 10, I will try and make sure I give them a 12 on 10.
Yeah.
Even that little bit of extra effort that you put in really makes a difference.
And you do it involuntarily. It's just your way of giving back.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like the satisfaction you get when you're a part of someone's wedding and like you're making it that like I would never get in a
Yeah.
legal field. Like I would.
But what is some of the shit that I'm sure you've seen some crazy stuff in your weddings as well. No? You have any stories about some of the crazy asks that you had?
Yeah.
Like
Sure.
some like what?
Bro, where do I begin? So like I was. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please then.
Firstly, I ask clients like, let me know who you want me to take requests from and who you don't want me to take requests from, because like, given the fact that it's a wedding, you are gonna have a bunch of people annoy you sometimes. Some of them really ask nicely.
That's like your pet peeve also.
Yeah, bro. So
Could be, yeah. It's very fair, man.
yeah. I haven't thought about it, but yeah. So someone could come like potentially. I've had people come and be like, "Hi, can I request a song?" And I'm like, "Sure." And like, "Can you play this if possible?" And then you're like, you feel good, and then if it fits into your set, you play it. If it doesn't, you say sorry or you just say yeah, and then you try and play it later if possible. But then there's some people who'll come and be like Hinchot Baja.
Yeah.
And that's
That
when,
entitlement that if you don't play it, then it's a fucking
that's
problem.
when you lose your shit.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
then that's like, then I get upset.
Of course.
Then I don't play it on purpose even if I can.
Of course.
It depends on how you ask and like what you say. See, of course, if it's the couple, you do like
You oblige.
give into nakras and like you do whatever it takes, because at the end of the
It's
day
their
they're paying
night.
you. Yeah.
So, bro, we always end the show with a question that the previous guest has asked you. So, what Kranti is left for you is a damn introspecting, interesting question.
Okay.
Her question is, what was the cost of following your passion,
Yeah.
and what is the reward that you've gained for the cost you have given?
The reward, I guess, is just making people happy while I'm doing something that makes me happy at the same time.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, being a part of someone's wedding or like special day is such a privilege. Making it as exciting and as fun as it is is a huge task, and I don't take it lightly. It's amazing. I love what I do. The cost would be, of course, things like not getting enough time for like personal things, not getting enough sleep, your health, could.
Especially in the 6 months where the thing is on.
So of course you need to like catch up on sleep as and when, like if you're on a flight or if you're like, you have 5 minutes, like half an hour, or like 1 hour, off, and you're just in your room and you're chilling.
But it must be damn gratifying thinking of where you started versus what it is right now, no? Like, do you have like, what are those thought process from the empty gigs to now you see like full?
It's amazing, bro. I always say, like, when I say that, when people ask me, isn't it tiring or is it like this? I'll say yes, but I wouldn't complain a single minute of my life. Like I'm always just grateful that I'm able to do what I do and
But because you took the bet on yourself and then you followed your passion.
Yeah.
Which I don't think that many people have the balls to do when they sit in unhappy situations, right?
Yeah,
Consistently.
It's sad. Like I feel like COVID's played like a huge role in this whole thing, because post 2020, there's been a shift in a lot of people's mindsets. I think people have realized that life's too short to be unhappy. Like consistently. See, coming from our parents' generation, like I don't think they had many options in what they want to do, as their careers. There were like limited things. You could either be a lawyer, doctor, a CA, or
It was a standard set blueprint path.
Yeah, bro. Like in
No
college,
one went against the grain.
in college also you're doing arts, commerce, or science.
Yeah.
Not many people went against the grain and did what they love. I think don't be stupid enough to just quit your job and do something you love, but also don't be stupid enough to continue doing something that depresses you.
So what you're saying is quit and have a plan.
Yeah.
And work towards make a passion, find a plan to make your passion your profession.
Find a balance. Like make sure everything that you're doing is sustainable. Don't be how do you say it? Like, don't just suddenly make a
rash decision.
A very rash decision and just like one day quit and say like, screw it, like I'm just gonna do this, because that's not how it works. Everyone has bills to pay. Everyone has lives to like live. You need to be.
And that plan helps you in those times when you want to quit, right? And I'm sure you had a lot of times when you wanted to potentially quit. So you feel like your plan is what, and your overall like image of where you saw yourself is what kept you going.
Yeah, dude. I also want to say that a lot of people today aren't sure of what they want to achieve in life. That might sound a little deep, but I want to say it anyway. This is based on my experience of asking a lot of people. Like, you need to know that this is where you want to reach, and this is how you plan on getting there. Like, that's the first thing when you try and like figure shit out, like making your plan and shit. Like, if you want a BMW, for example,
How are you going to go and get it?
how are you gonna go and get it? If you want a Rolls Royce, how are you going to get it? Like, it's not impossible. You can achieve all of this. You can, even a goal as to getting anything, even a bike or like a Maruti, anything, bro, like a car.
Yeah.
Like, that's just
People want it, but they aren't willing to put the work to get it.
yeah. So like,
It's very easy to say. It's like
Yeah.
instant dopamine. I want this, I'll
Yeah.
get this, I do X. But
Yeah.
fuck, you can't lie to the mirror.
absolutely, you can't just be absolutely like delusional and say that no, I'm gonna become this big and all, but not know how to get there.
Yeah.
Like, you say that I want to reach there and then do it, or then don't do it.
Yeah.
Or then aim for something lesser and then achieve that, or maybe like take it gradually, which is essentially I think the right way to go about
Yeah.
it. Like,
but what the overall theme is, just have a plan, because
Have a plan.
when you're following your passion,
Yeah.
you will be waking up every day with a smile on your face because you'll be excited as to what you want to do.
Yeah.
So even in the hard yards,
Yeah.
you are striving towards something which
Yeah.
helps you.
another cost is that you don't know when your next paycheck is going to come through.
Hmm.
Like, that's of course something that everyone needs to.
But that's when you gotta hustle.
That's a new one also.
And what's the question you would leave for the next guest?
I'd say, if life is so short, what's holding you back? Like,
Yeah.
do what you want to do, make it happen. I think there's a way for everyone to make everything happen. I know there are certain things that happen to everyone in life where like things can hold you back, which is unfortunate. There are certain things which are not in your control. I'd say just give it your best shot.
But
Like,
if you don't try, you won't know.
if you don't try, you won't know.
Sick. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Thank you for having me, man.
Appreciate it.